Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Week 9 picks in the NFL. Week 8 was incredibly kind to us. We went 13-2 and improved our record to 79-44, getting close to the territory of having twice as many correct picks as incorrect picks, and who knows, with another great week this week, we might even enter that territory. Let's get this started, though, with the 49ers at the Cardinals, where I foresee the 49ers remaining undefeated in an impressive victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Again, not to say the Arizona Cardinals are a bad team. The 49ers are undefeated for a reason. Their schedule has been a little They don't write the schedule. They've demolished people that they've played, especially with their defense. Their defensive line gives me nightmares. Kyler Murray might take a lot of sacks. He's not going to get hit because he's really smart about not getting hit, but he might take a lot of sacks in this one. 35-17, San Francisco remains undefeated. And we'll move right on along into the Texans at the Jaguars, where Gardner Minshew is coming off of a 3-touchdown game against the Jets, and Deshaun Watson is coming off of a game-winning drive over the Oakland Raiders. I believe that the Houston Texans are going to keep rolling and keep up with the Colts in that really tough AFC South, which is unfortunate. The Jags kind of need to win this game to stay in that division race long term. I know we're only halfway through the season and anything can happen, especially since they're only 2 or so games back. But I think that Deshaun Watson is starting to show more and more grit. Losing J.J. Watt for the season certainly is not going to help. But I am still not very impressed with either of these teams' defenses so far. And I trust the Houston offense more than the Jaguars offense. Let's say to a score of 28-27, Houston takes this one. Now we got the Bears and the Eagles. Actually, the 2 games I got wrong were the Bears game and the Eagles game last week. So this is actually a really tough one for me because I have no idea what's going to happen because these teams are starting to enter Titan territory of I don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to take the Eagles in this one, though. The Bears defense is showing signs of being really good, but not good enough to overcome their subpar offense. Mitchell Trubisky is not a good quarterback, unfortunately. I feel really bad for Bears fans. He can still progress, but right now he is not a good quarterback, and that's going to sink you, especially in a game like this where the Philly offense really found itself in what I believe to actually be a better defense in the Buffalo Bills. So I think that the Eagles keep that rolling. I had this prediction 2 weeks ago. It was just, it was a week early, unfortunately, but I'm going to take the Eagles to win this one and keep pace in their division by a score of 21-15. Vikings at the Chiefs. Another really interesting game had Patrick Mahomes been cleared to play. Signs right now are saying that he is not going to be ready to play until they play the Titans next week, so it looks like it'll be Matt Moore again. Matt Moore played really well against the Packers. The whole offense played really well against even the defense played really well against the Packers. And the Vikings are coming off of a game where they kind of struggled a little bit. They didn't really put Washington away, but they controlled the game the entire time. I think that the Vikings actually keep it rolling and they win this game too with their defense. If Patrick Mahomes was playing, I would 100% pick the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. But Kirk Cousins is on a roll. Dalvin Cook is on a roll. Kansas City's defense, their pass rush specifically, has shown a lot of progress. I'm not convinced with their secondary still. So I think that the Minnesota Vikings are going to take a lower scoring affair for Kansas City standards go. 24-21. Colts at the Steelers. This has the potential to be like a really sneaky good game. The Steelers used to just dominate the Colts every time they played them, but I'm taking the Colts to win this one. Jacoby Brissett has that unit rolling. They're playing incredibly good football. Their defense is playing even better football. The Steelers had a great showing on Monday Night Football, but you played the Dolphins. That's not a great stepping stone for me to say, oh, you're great now because you scored 4 times against the Dolphins. The Colts are a little bit of a tougher team. I think that they understand as well that they need to keep pace in the AFC South with Houston, especially since they won last week. So I think that the Colts take this one in a little bit of a bruising game, 17-14. All right, now we got Jets at the Dolphins. This game's going to be a little bit weird in my opinion. I think the Jets are actually going to win this game. The Dolphins showed great fight early, but again, just like in the Bills game, they fell short late. I think that this is a team that's trying to lose. I really do. The Jets have shown offensive prowess from time to time, and the Dolphins are the kind of team that they're going to have great success against. But that's not to say that the Dolphins won't also have success. I think that this one is a close one going into the fourth quarter, and will stay that way throughout most of the game, but the Jets will come out on top 23-20. Redskins at the Bills. This week's edition of I don't want to spend too much time on this game. We're going to take the Bills to win this one. They had a down week last week, but now they're playing a lower tiered team to help get back on track. I think that they do that. I think they come out hot, get the ball running really, really well. Defense comes, gets a couple of turnovers. I think they're going to win by 15, 30-15. Titans at the Panthers now. The Panthers got bludgeoned last week, but you know what? I have a 2-game winning streak for picking the Titans games correctly, mostly because the Titans are on a 2-game winning streak. That team is starting to gel and starting to find themselves and starting to rally behind Ryan Tannehill. They're going to lose this week. They're going to lose this week to the Panthers. Coming off of a bludgeoning like they did, the Carolina Panthers are going to be determined to run the football and protect Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen got rocked by a very, very good San Francisco front. The Titans have a really good defense and front as well. I think the running game, though, and a commitment to the running game will allow the Panthers to actually win this game, which, of course, means the Titans will actually probably win this game. But we're picking the Panthers, and we're picking the Panthers to win 28-24. Lions at the Raiders. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions in this one. The Raiders are a team that have very much so impressed me this year. They've played a lot better than what I've expected them to, and they've even won more games than I've expected them to. But the Lions are starting to find a stride here. They had a little bit of adversity in that Giants game, but put it away when they needed to most. Their defense, buckled down, got a couple of turnovers, and their offense was scoring like crazy. I think that continues this week. A really similar type game. Let's go 38-31. The Lions take this one. Buccaneers at the Seahawks. Get your popcorn ready. This is a game of the week right here. It's an under the carpet kind of game of the week, under the rug. Like, you don't expect this to be as good of a game as it's going to be. Bruce Arians is historically good against the Seattle Seahawks, especially in Seattle. But that was with the Arizona Cardinals. Not to say that that's going to carry over. It might. We'll see. But Seattle gives up a lot of yards still. And Tampa Bay likes to gain a lot of yards. Mike Evans went off last week. He'll probably do it again. But I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks to win this game because Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And the Tampa Bay defense doesn't impress me that much. Ryan Tannehill in the fourth quarter hunkered down and did what he needed to do to help them win. Who's to say Russell Wilson can't do that too? Let's take the Seahawks 31-24. Packers at the Chargers. Oh, good for you, Los Angeles Chargers, and thank you for proving me wrong. I'm very happy they were able to pull out that victory against a struggling Chicago team, but now you're running into what I'm calling the buzzsaw that is the Green Bay Packers. I saw a comment on the video last week, because I think I made a comment about the Saints being like the second best team in the NFC or something, and they asked me, well, who's your best team in the NFC? It's actually the Green Bay Packers. I think that the Green Bay Packers, based on strength of schedule, based on teams they've played, and based on progress they've made throughout the season, I think that they are actually the best team in the NFC and right now are my favorites to win the NFC, but that's always liquid and we'll transition from time to time. We'll talk about that in a different video. But for those who are interested, the 49ers are second and the Saints are third. But I think the Packers kind of continue their offensive dominance. Their running backs are destroying everybody. Like, oh, you don't have Devontae Adams. It doesn't matter. We have running backs that will absolutely destroy you. Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are doing wonders for Matt LaFleur. I think it continues here. Even with the win, the Chargers still fired their OC. They know they're having issues. It's a little bit of a down year. Let's take the Green Bay Packers in this one, 34-21. Browns at the Broncos. The Cleveland Browns have endured one hell of a season, and it has not been a great season. They've struggled offensively, they've struggled defensively, but they've also played some of the toughest teams in the NFL to this point. This week, they're getting a Broncos team that is starting. I don't even know who they're starting. I'll put his name down here. I saw it on ESPN this morning. I was like, I've never heard of this guy before. This is going to be a lot like that New York Jets Monday night game. The defense will get after them early. It'll be a very unimpressive win, but the Browns, I am predicting, will still win. They're going into the back end of their schedule, which is playing teams of a lower echelon at this point. The Browns are going to start racking up wins, but they're going to be kind of empty wins because the teams that they, with all the Super Bowl hype that they were built up with in the offseason, the teams that they should have been beating, like the Niners, the Seahawks, the Patriots, they didn't even stand a chance against those teams. But now they're playing weaker teams like the Broncos, and the Broncos are still a good team. They showed a lot of fight. Indy had to go to a last-second field goal to beat this team, and I think the Indianapolis Colts are a better team than the Browns. But with a backup quarterback, it's going to be really hard for them to overcome the Browns defense. I think the Browns win a close one here, 18-14. Patriots at the Ravens. Let's take the New England Patriots in this one in a very, very good game. The offense for the Baltimore Ravens, as much as I do not like that team, is incredible and very fun to watch. It's very high-paced. You don't really know what they're going to do next, but the New England Patriots do that too. And whatever you do well, the Patriots always seem to find a way to stop you from doing it. I think that's going to be the case here. I think we're going to get a Ravens offensive performance much like Week 3 against the Colts against the Chiefs, my apologies, and Week 4 against the Browns, where it sputters early and then finds its way later. But New England's not going to encounter any of those issues. I know Brady's upset because of all the turnover at wide receiver, but Edelman is still there. Sanu will get his touches. Sony Michel will be able to run the ball. The Ravens defense has improved a little bit since getting Marcus Peters. I can't say a little bit. They beat Seattle. They improved a lot. And they're coming off of a bye. I still think New England takes this one, though. It's really hard to pick against New England, especially in a primetime setting. So I'm going to take New England 27-20. And then we got Monday Night Football, Cowboys at the Giants. We're going to take the Dallas Cowboys in this one. No surprise here. The New York Giants can't stop turning the football over. And while Daniel Jones is playing some pretty good offense, the mistakes by the offense as a whole are hurting them. Their defense is not ready to win games yet. But I don't think anybody expected the New York Giants to be a barn-burning, smash-mouth team at this point, especially with how their rebuild is going. It's not a bad thing that they're going to be losing games like this. The Cowboys, however, need to win games like this, especially with the Eagles winning last week. So the Cowboys will go into town, get business done, get a couple turnovers, and keep pace in the division. So we're going to take the Dallas Cowboys to win this one 35-24. And thank you very much again for viewing the weekly picks. We will see you all next week for Week 10. The record will be over on this side. As I said before, we are 79-44. Let's see if we can get to the point where we have more, twice as many correct picks as incorrect picks. My Twitter will be over here. Haven't been checking it recently. I got really upset at football last week. I didn't have a great week in fantasy. Didn't have a great week with the Browns. But I'm back now. I'm good now. See the smile on my face? I'm back. So with that being said, we will see you next week, and I hope you enjoy this week of football. Thank you.